In this video, we're going to have a quick look at powers. You've probably seen this before. You might have seen something like 3 to the power of 2, where we have the big 3 and the small 2 up above it. Now, what this actually means is 3 times 3. Okay, so it's the base number here at the bottom, and it's the top number tells you how many times it's being multiplied. So this bottom number we actually do call the base value. And the top number we usually refer to as the index or the power. You can also sometimes hear it called the exponent. Okay, so those are three terms that you will possibly hear. You might also hear the term indice, which is usually a pluralized version of index, but they're the two parts that make up the question, if you like. So the base value, the value that we're going to multiply, and the index or power, which is how many times that happens. So if we have some other examples, if we said 4 to the power of 3, that would be equal to 4 times 4 times 4. The base value here is 4, and there are 3 of them. Okay, one more example. Let's do 5 to the power of 7. That would be 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. One more. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. The base value 5 multiplied 7 times. Now, when we see this form here, where we have the number multiplied the number of times that the index says, we call this the expanded form. Okay, so you might have a question that says, write this indice here, or this power, in the expanded form. So it's expecting you to see it and write the number out, the amount of times that the power talks about. So what we have now is the base and the exponent indice or power. We have the expanded form, and there's one more term that we're going to want to know. So if I just quickly remove all this for a second, let's take a final example. So let's say 2 to the power of 5. If we want to expand that out, we will say 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So we have here again the base value. Let's just call this the index for the moment. We have the expanded form. Okay, and there's one more thing that we can get, and that is the actual answer. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, would give us a final answer of 32. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 more is 32. When we have this final answer here, we actually call that the basic numeral. Basic numeral basically being a number that, strictly speaking, has a power of 1. Okay, so it's 32 technically to the power of 1. It's 32 times nothing else. All right, so it's strictly to the power of 1. We don't show that power of 1 because, like a lot of things, when we've just got a 1, we don't need to show it. So we call that a basic numeral. So that is the summary, if you like, of what you need to know. So we have our base value with an index or a power. We'll put power up there again to remind you if you're looking at this later. When we write it out in its full form, we have the expanded form, so the base number multiplied that many times. And if we get a final answer, we call that a basic numeral. So that is essentially what you need to understand at this point about powers.